I started hiring people. That presented a lot of challenges. As you're hiring people and then you spend so much time training these people and then they leave to go somewhere else. And it's like, now I've got to go through this whole process again. And to be honest, that was the most difficult part of scaling my business was just getting past that, training people and then they leave. And, about 5 years in, I really hit the jackpot. I hired some key employees in my business that these are forever employees. With these employees, I learned, what it takes to be a great boss. And these are things like, you know, pouring into them, not just, monetarily, but like emotionally being there for them and just helping them. We do so much with our guys and for our guys.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I am joined by Matt Black, who is a friend of mine from Rise Up Kings. Matt owns Black's Buildings, and he has a lot going on. He's a serial guy. He's got some cool software coming out. Matt, my first question is always the same. Tell us a little bit about who you are and how we got to where we are today.
Absolutely. So my name is Matthew Black. I live right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Got a wife and two kids here, and we build sheds. That's been our primary business. We've been extremely blessed in this business. It was something we just kind of started not knowing that it would lead to what it has. And we've grown over the past 10 years into something that is truly something that I'm very proud of. Our teams are amazing. The people here, I feel like God has sent every person that works for me. It's we don't typically go out and like job search for people. It's like people come to us, and I see in them, that they are good, and I typically don't question it. Even if maybe it wasn't a position that I thought that we needed to fill, they serve a place in our business. So we've just been really fortunate with that. But we build sheds, we build barns. We actually recently got our modular certification, so we can build fully finished homes in our factory and deliver them all over the country. We're really excited about that. That's something it took me over 2 years to kind of get all the pieces in place for that. Have a software company, MyShed. So we do software currently for shed companies. We've got a decent base of customers right now with our current stack of modules, which includes like a 3D configurator. We've got point of sale. We've got delivery scheduling, accounting functionality, inventory management. It's an all-in-one business management platform for the shed industry. We're also going to push that into some other industries with some of the functionality that we're developing now. These things we'll expect to have done by the end of September, but God has just been really good to us. I try to be faithful to Him and follow the path that He has set out for me, and He is so good to us.
That's awesome, man. Well, you guys are doing some cool things. We got connected through Dylan Street originally, and he says
That's
that
right.
you're doing, yeah, I think you're very much underselling yourself, Matt, but I think you have a fairly large operation.
We
And
do.
he also, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I don't. I don't need to expand on it. Like I said, we're blessed. God is
Yeah.
so good to us.
Yeah. So let's start with the software.
Yes, sir.
And I remember one of my first calls with Dylan, he's like, if you could create a tool that did everything, like, because a lot of shed guys they're doing their design on one app and then they're doing, some of the stuff on the other app. So my understanding
That's
is you're
right.
basically trying to consolidate that into one tool.
Yeah. Yeah. So our current stack we've had ready for about a year. So the biggest things that we have that nobody else has are like an ERP and MRP. So that's an enterprise resource planning or materials resource planning. These are tools that allow construction type businesses to project their cost for certain projects. So it takes into account all of your different input prices for the different materials used, and then compiles those as you sell something and gives you a total material cost. And these things are so accurate. We have them dialed down to the number of nails and screws that go into a building. It's got a great platform where we input orders as we receive them with the pricing. You can just take a picture of it. It'll automatically pull all of the data that it needs off of there. So it's just really quick and easy. But typically in the shed industry, we go off of a multiple of our cost to manufacture to determine what a sales price would be on a shed. So with pricing volatility like we've experienced over the past 5 years or so, these tools allow companies to pivot quickly and to make sure their margins remain what they need them to be successful.
So if I own a shed building company, you're going to basically allow me to consolidate, like I'm maybe doing using three different tools to do this work
Oh yeah.
now. I only am going to need one.
Yes, sir. Yeah, our 3D is industry leading. There is nobody with better looking textures than what we have. Just the speed at which everything renders is incredible. We are aiming to be nothing less than the best. That is our goal, and we feel like we're readily on our way to achieving that. But yeah, it's an all-in-one platform. That way, you don't have fragmentation. You don't have companies saying, "Well, it's not us, it's them." Which
Yeah.
is something we've heard a lot in our industry that there's plugins that don't work or broken or whatnot. And with us, all the accountability stays here. We
Yeah.
have built our product from beginning to end with every aspect of what a shed company needs to run their business, very thoughtfully designed. And we feel like it is simply uh, the ideal software platform to run a shed business as well as many other types of businesses, to be honest. Any business that sells products, we can sell through our system. We have a shop inventory where you can display goods that are like on different sales locations. So it could be the same with automobiles. You could have your automobiles in there. Somebody could come through and search all of that. It's an amazing system for all sorts of things. But we have big plans. We've got some patents in place to allow us growth, and we're really excited for what the future holds.
What gave you the idea? Where did you kind of have the birth of this
Yeah, it's
software
a
tool
great
in your
question.
mind?
Absolutely. So we've been building this business about 5 years. Previous to that, there was about a year that I used a software platform that was mostly a 3D configurator. It had some back end tools, nothing like what we have today, but the pricing for that product, the pricing structure at the time was based off of the volume of sales that we had, and it was reasonable. I would say it was probably 3,500 to $5,000 a month, which is still pretty hefty for a software. But they were changing their pricing structure to a percentage based pricing structure, which would have seen our cost for using that software more than double. And there were also a lot of other companies in the industry that were using this software platform. This was one of the earliest software platforms in our industry. And we all kind of got together. We met north of Seattle at my friend Paul's home. He has since passed, but he had a shed company up there, and a big group of us met up there, and we just kind of talked about the opportunity that was presented there, and discussed if there was potential for any of us and how we could proceed to do something different. And with that, there was a man, Nathan Sen. He's my partner in this business. He oversees our development team. He lives in the Philippines. He had worked for my parents' business since he was maybe 12. He had a very conservative upbringing, They used to sell baked goods outside of their home so he could buy his first computer. And we're talking, late 90s when computers were just becoming a thing that you could have in your home. And I knew he was, very smart and into technology. So I called him after that meeting we had and discussed the opportunity with him, kind of what could be. And to be honest, we never had any idea that it would be where it is today. We could have never told you that, but just one of those things where, you know, God has a plan and he puts all these pieces together and we don't see it at the time, but like if we're faithful and we follow his plan, like he can put together some amazing things. We are so excited about this business. But yeah, we worked really hard designing a 3D configurator first, and then we started putting together a back end. At one point, we had 20 plus developers. Software is something where there's a lot of upfront development required, so a lot of capital involved out the gate. Software companies, it's typically 10 to 20 years before they really get into a profitable point of business. So it's not like a lot of businesses. It's one where you sink a lot of money and you must have faith that what you're doing is the right thing. And you must be innovative and you must be very thoughtful. And just over the years, I mean, initially we had some issues. A lot of those were customer support issues. We had when we originally launched the product, we didn't have customer support that was able to give our clients the best experience. And it took us a while to onboard people. There were just a lot of bumps in the road.
The tool is live, right, Matt?
Absolutely, yeah. We have 20 plus companies using this. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
sweet.
Yeah. So the new products that we have coming to market are truly game changing products. These are things that I can't discuss them yet. But we are very proud of the work we are doing, and it is my my team of developers. They work so diligent. They have the best equipment. They are so focused, and we all believe so much in what we are doing. Um, like I said, we're all faith based men. We all believe that God has been preparing us our whole lives. Everything we've done in our whole lives is bringing us to these moments that are upcoming. And we believe that at the deepest part of who we are. And when you have that, it's like nobody can stop me. Like I am unstoppable. We have no
Yeah.
limits. We are all the way up. And we will continue to do that. And just so excited.
Love that. Let's talk about Black's buildings for a sec. So that's
Yeah.
the sign behind you.
Yes,
Just
sir.
out of curiosity, like tell me the story of that business, and then just walk us through
Yeah,
like where you guys are today.
absolutely. So that business, um, after my son was born, my wife and I were just discussing that we should start a business for ourselves. At the time, I was working for my parents' business and had some extra time, and just we felt that there was something I needed to do, and we were kind of thinking on it. And a man came to our business, and he asked me if I would be interested in building some sheds for his sales lot. So he was a shed dealer. He had a lot. He was having inventory issues, wanted additional manufacturers. My family business has been roofing, metal roofing. So we were already, had metal. So we had some of the input goods at, very competitive pricing because we were buying lots of those materials for our roofing business. And I decided to give it a shot. And for the first couple of years, I pretty much worked by myself in the shop. And I could build 2 or 3 sheds a week. I would advertise on Craigslist mostly, a lot of word of mouth. I built mostly metal sided sheds with metal roofs, and they were very cost effective. Honestly, I was giving my stuff away compared to like what we charge now. everything about what we do now is the highest level, and we charge accordingly. But first couple of years I was building them in the shop myself. Then I started hiring people. That presented a lot of challenges. As you're hiring people, and then you spend so much time training these people, and then they leave to go somewhere else, and it's like now I've got to go through this whole process again. And to be honest, that was the most difficult part of scaling my business, was just getting past that, training people, and then they leave. And about 5 years in, I really hit the jackpot. I hired some key employees in my business that these are forever employees. With these employees, I learned what it takes to be a great boss. And these are things like you know, pouring into them, not just, monetarily, but like emotionally, being there for them and just helping them. We do so much with our guys and for our guys, and we're proud to have them. But, once that point hit, like, it would cost me money to train new people, but it wasn't such a burden on me mentally. Like, the show would go on, and we were more thoughtful about the type of people that we were hiring, but um, it took a lot off my plate. I still built sheds myself in the shop up till about 2021. That's when I stepped out and started doing more administrative tasks, working on my business instead of working in it. And we hired a great salesperson, Nathan Reagan, who's now my sales manager. He had great sales experience from another shed company that had gone bankrupt, and uh, he came in, and honestly, that was a big turning point as well, because it allowed me to step out of sales, and that was a big decision because I was making all the sales at the point, and now I have to pay somebody commission for each sale, and I was selling well north of $1 million myself, with good profitability. But I knew that in order to continue to scale, that it could not just be me. And he did tremendous. Through COVID, our industry was buying forward, so we a lot of people were home, so they were purchasing sheds for outdoor spaces to either school or just enjoy their hobbies or whatever. We saw that in the early 2020, 2021. And then, a lot of those customers that were buying forward, a lot of companies have seen slowdowns in 23 and 24 because customers who would have maybe bought in these time periods had already bought because they were at home. So we saw tremendous numbers then, a little bit of a slowdown. We implemented EOS in 2024 towards the end of the year, and we've seen some great traction there. It's something that's really helped our business as well. Just being organized, having tasks and seats, and having the right people in the seat, and tasks assigned. Every task is assigned to somebody, so things don't fall through the cracks. And those are the things that allow good businesses to become great. And I feel like we've got a great business here.
What are some of the sticking points you guys are facing today? What are some of the challenges you feel like you're facing?
Absolutely. So, scaling for us right now, we're in a phase where we're trying to scale the business. So, we're opening new dealer locations, new manufacturing locations. With that, maintaining consistency kind of across all of that is very difficult, because we present ourselves a certain way, and our marketing content and branding, everything, we we have fully outlined the customer journey and what every step looks like, and what can go wrong at each step, and how we manage that. And it's just, there's so much product knowledge required, for both manufacturing and for the dealer model. So you have to have product knowledge. A dealer who's not supremely confident in his product knowledge has a much lesser close rate than a dealer who knows his product inside and out. So to
Yeah.
us, it's very important that they have that. So the burden is on us for training. And then also, our software really does ease things. So when it comes like to quoting projects, you literally put it into the software and it gives you the exact price. So you're not having to go through spreadsheets and figure out what is this, what is that, and then the trust factor. So your customers, when they see that you have something your competition doesn't, all of our salesmen at all locations, they have a desk, and behind their desk is a big TV screen, and they mirror what is on their computer screen on the TV screen, so the customers can watch as they're designing their shed, and it just
Oh, that's
instills
kind of cool. I
confidence in
really
them.
like that.
It is. It is. Like I said, we try to be very thoughtful because otherwise they're kind of looking over at your computer screen and you're like, do you like this? No, we have big 60+ inch screens. They can just sit there and just watch as you're designing. Like, do you want the window here, closer to the front? Do you want it centered? And it just really helps to instill that confidence. We're very uh, focused on our conversions and how we increase those. So how do we make more sales out of any given rate of leads? So and that is something, once again, just having high levels of confidence across the board and positioning yourself at the top, and that typically helps tremendously. So yeah, software training, those kind of things have really helped us overcome the hurdles of the manufacturing. Our manufacturing, we provide cut lists. So with our ERP, MRP, we can let them know every board, what length, what angle, everything um, that needs to be cut, and that way they can have it all cut, ready to go as they start manufacturing. It just makes things way easier.
Let's talk about AI for a sec. How do you feel like it's affecting your industry and where are you guys using it?
Yeah. So AI is the future of the front office. So, construction, we're pretty far out from having robots in my shop here manufacturing sheds. So we do have a lot of innovation that's happened as far as like equipment and the way sheds are manufactured, specifically things like jigs that are set up to nail your walls together. You put your boards in and these C clamps. You lay all your boards in, your top and bottom plates, and nail guns slide down on a rail and nail everything together. They'll do the same with your siding. You lay your siding on there, then you hoist it over to the building using uh, like a crane, an overhead crane type setup. These things greatly speed up the time of production. But AI in the front office, we use it everywhere. So we use it in our marketing to help create better marketing materials. We use it in our conversations to create more concise, higher level emails. We use it in our software development to help us code things quicker. AI is the future of business, and we've embraced it fully. I am. It's funny. I had a conversation with my pastor not long ago about AI. So I like to sit with my pastor every couple of weeks or so, every at least once a month. But we'll sit down and just discuss random topics I've thought of that I need would like to discuss with him, and we'll sit down for an hour or two. But we discussed AI, and specifically, I wanted to speak with him about his thoughts on like my children using AI, and because as it becomes more prevalent, I feel, it's good for them to have a deep understanding of it, especially if you get them started young. By the time they're, 18, if they're used to using it, they'll have a big leg up. Uh, but then it's like, well, with AI, there's also so much information there. So you can find so much about anything. Kind of what we came up with is that with AI, there is potential for people to look at it as God or as something like God because they can come to it with anything and it's going to give them an answer. But that the main thing we really came to on the discussion with my children is that it needs to be supervised. That the to allow a young mind unfettered access to a software like that is not the right thing. because it is not always true information. We want to think that the results it gives us are wholly true, but it's a compilation of things that it has researched online and learned about online. So it's not always 100% true. And like I said, it's just important for me with my children to make sure if we do give them access that it is filtered access.
Matt, what's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've touched on it just slightly, but like one of my favorite things is like people. Um, I strive to be a good leader. I would love to be a great leader one day. I still have some work left to do for that, but I love building out like teams. Love finding people that are just very knowledgeable about things, especially things that I'm not knowledgeable about, and just bringing them in and implementing them into our organization just to help make everything better. But and people, I think that's one of my uh, best qualities is just finding good people and putting them together. Our leadership team here at Blacks is second to none. I would say they are great, and it really helps us to make great decisions. Having great people with differing ideas absolutely helps us to grow and to understand things. Yeah, that really fires me up. Just you know, putting those teams together, and obviously God. I am a champion for God. I'm a warrior for Him. I believe in Him so deeply. It's funny. I grew up Church of Christ, and I always thought God was real, but now I know God is real, and I know His Son died for me, and those kind of things. When like I've noticed just such a shift in my life since coming to these realizations of knowing versus thinking, and the way God is moving in my life, and the way I try to honor Him, and I try to live a life without sin. And we're all going to slip up from time to time. We're human, but yeah, that gets me really fired up too. My kids, my wife, and I were all involved in our church and our community. We try to do so much good. Got a friend. We're putting together a group of people to just really try to help younger people who are in high school, coming out of high school, just teach them some trades, some things, because I see a lot of that lately. A lot of people, people don't choose to work at McDonald's forever just because it's what they want to do. They get stuck. And,
Yep.
if we can impact some people's lives and try to teach them trades and not expect anything in return, and just do good for others, be there for others. That's something I'm super passionate about. Have some great friends, some amazing human beings that we're working really just to expand God's kingdom and to just do as much good as possible. I want to do everything I can, and I always trust in God that, like, you know, I will always have what I need to do well. So even when there's big needs, like, do it. God will provide a way. If I see a need, my goal is to fill that need. So it's great to have other men that are joining me in this.
Matt, if people want to learn more about who you are and what you do, where can they go?
Yeah, you can absolutely check my socials. I've got a Facebook, LinkedIn. You can go to my websites, blacksbuildings.com. Both of those are plural with an S on the end. You can go to myshed.io, or you can just give me a call. You can call me directly. My cell phone number is 870-918-7085. I'm not afraid to give that out. I love people to call me. I love opportunities. So if anybody has any ideas, absolutely give me a call. Let's discuss it.
Matt, thanks so much don't go anywhere, but thanks so much for joining us on the show today.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed it.